Oh, hi there. It's been a while, and people have been asking me, Matt, have you sold your Tesla stock? Where have you been? And I'll address exactly where I've been. But did I sell my Tesla stock? That's my question what I need to answer first. And obviously, with everything that's going on right now, and with the stock crashing today down 5%, and with Elon getting his new compensation package, and then buying $1 billion worth of Tesla stock, there's only one thing that I would ever say. And it's obviously going to be the exact same thing that I said on December 27th in 2022. This is a buying opportunity. I said it when Tesla stock was at $109 and people call me crazy, Matt, you lost your mind. How can you say that? Tesla stock just dropped 11% in one single day. How can you say that this is a buying opportunity? Well, I made 1,000 videos explaining myself, so I don't think I need to explain myself any further. Elon Musk just bought more stock, and Elon has a compensation package that he believes is actually really motivating him. So Elon is not going anywhere except he's staying at Tesla. The only place he's going is taking Tesla to $1,000 per share, and then after that, well above it. Actually, I am so excited about this news of Elon Musk buying more Tesla stock, and then finally Elon Musk having this new compensation package, and clearly Elon Musk more focusing on Tesla in the long term. I am so excited about it that I actually want to increase my Tesla stock price target above $1,000 per share. So to answer the question, did I sell any Tesla stock? No, absolutely not. Actually, I want to buy more Tesla stock. And currently I'm going through quite a few big changes in my personal life and overall, and they are positive changes, and I do have less time now compared to before. And if you watched my last video, then you know that I went to Europe, and this whole thing was supposed to be just a few weeks of a break because I haven't seen my family in Europe now for, it was more than 5 years, which is insane. So I will have less time. However, if this post of mine that I posted here on X, if this gets 200 reposts or likes, or if it gets 2,000 followers, this new account of mine, which I started earlier this year, it now has 500 followers as of this moment. I don't know why my original account got suspended. I received no explanation, nothing. But if I see support from all of you guys, then I will want to continue. And then I will provide regular updates on my YouTube channel just like before. But during these last 2 months when I was traveling, it was just too much to set up the microphone and all the monitors and the camera and everything while I was in Europe, going from one hotel to another, from Northern Europe all the way everywhere in Scandinavia and then Italy. And it was just too much. I was changing my hotels like every 5 days, and to set the whole thing up in each and every place, I was just like, this is just too much. So I didn't post on it. But now I am back in North America, and there's a few big things that I will announce if I do decide to continue with YouTube and posting about Tesla and everything. And I believe that all of you guys will actually be really excited about these changes. The only question that I really have for all of you is, do you want me to continue? If you do, please go ahead. There's a link in the description of the video and in the pinned comment. Click on that link and it'll take you exactly to this post, and just repost this post. Make sure to like the post. Also, if you leave a comment, it will boost the post and it will help me get to these 200 reposts and likes, or as well as 2,000 followers. My old account on X, it had 5,000 followers, so I don't feel like this is a big ask at all. And why is Tesla stock, by the way, giving us a bigger buying opportunity today? Is down 5%. Well, it's because of the president. There are tensions between the US and China. That's basically all it is. It's nothing to do with Tesla today. And these are some of the best buying opportunities really that you can get your hands on. Anyway, I do want to say that I have missed you guys so much. And hopefully we can all continue all of this. If I am welcome back, then I would like to continue. If not, then it'll be a sad day. But I haven't had as much fun as making these videos for you guys doing anything else, pretty much. Making these videos is a lot of fun. Dunking on all the shores and then seeing Tesla stock go up eventually. Oh, there's nothing quite better than that. And now I would like to go through some of the latest news, like today's news and yesterday's news. Let's go through all the latest news. Hopefully this won't be the last time I do this. This morning, Sawyer posted that Tesla has just launched a Model Y Standard in Europe. And the Model Y Standard deliveries begin in Europe actually this November, which is of course the most affordable Model Y yet. Also, many people forget that while the $7,500 tax credit is gone in the US, that's not really the case in Europe, is it? Sure, they have their own subsidies at some points in time, but really, They never had the $7,500 tax credit that just expired just now. So in Europe, the new Model Y actually has a better chance to really work well compared to the US. Now, Redlick here is saying so far no Model 3 standard in Europe, no standard Model 3 or Y in Asia. This means standard Y made in Berlin. Berlin does not make Model 3. Will Shanghai start making standard versions of the Model 3 and Y? That is the question. Standard Model Y has a big 10,000 euro discount in Europe. Should boost sales there for sure. I agree with that last statement right here. And then we need to talk about V14, which of course has been really big news recently. And Elon said yes to this post from AI Driver. FSD V14 feels more like AGI than any LLM because it has this quality of being sentient is what I'm hearing from people. Also, Elon made this comment on a video about FSD V14.1. In the near future, your Tesla will drop you off at the store entrance and then go find a parking spot. This is actually going to happen much sooner than many people think. And I think that actually includes even some Tesla investors, many actually Tesla investors. I don't think they really see what's coming yet and how fast it's going to happen. When you're ready to exit the store, just tap summon on your phone and the car will come to you. Surprisingly, when I talk to quite a few Tesla investors, they don't have a Tesla vehicle, or if they do, they don't have FSD, which is, wow, if you don't have FSD in your vehicle, you are going to miss out big time. Then Omar here says that V14.1 is really human-like, or at least Omar-like. Wow, just like me, he says right here, commenting on a video, which was 20 minutes right here. He spent 20 minutes looking for a parking spot at Costco, which is, by the way, something that I just did recently. Maybe I didn't spend 20 minutes, but about 10 minutes almost. Yeah, it was pretty busy over here where I was. And the thing was, it's not that it spent 20 minutes looking for a spot due to an error. It never once passed an empty spot. So in situations like that, you really would want to have FSD that can just drop you off and then go park itself, and then you just go and shop. Oh, going to stores would be so much more fun then if you didn't have to look for parking. Or sometimes even if there is parking, you have to park so far that it's no longer fun to go shopping. Ooh, and then Dirty Tesla. Wow, he posted something quite crazy. FSD V14, he says, drives down an extremely tight alley, then forces its way into a tiny gap after a left turn. I feel like FSD made the left early to get out of the way of the pedestrian since it was blocking the sidewalk. So I was just in Italy. I've driven through quite a few of these over there, and seems like FSD is going to be able to handle all these without any issues, really. So people are quite amazed by how well it handles all of this. The limiting factor says, I don't think it's just sentient. I think it's grown testicles, some ballsy and well executed moves here. Well done, Tesla team, well done. The important thing is, not only did it do that, it actually did that without any scratches, without any damage. You know, if you look at the greater population of drivers, would all of them really have driven just as well through this tiny alley as FSD just did? I'm not so quite sure about that. We are arriving at a point now where FSD in quite a few situations is going to perform better than an average human being. And if you think that progress is just going to stop here, you, my friend, are going to be greatly mistaken. Progress is going to continue, and FSD is going to become safer than human driving in every single state and every single city in the United States of America and Canada. And those of us in Tesla stock, ooh, we will celebrate. The gains are going to be big. But the progress is not stopping just here. FSD V14.1 can also use a drive-through. Elon warned us it was becoming sentient, and now we are having proof that indeed it can use a drive-through. This is a post from Dirty Tesla. And Farzad says this about the drive-through video, but the industry auto have a magical catch-up to Tesla button. No, they don't. No one is catching up to Tesla anytime soon. Farzad says here also, this video has been living rent-free in my brain for the last 2 days. I don't know how anyone can see this video and then say that Tesla isn't going to solve autonomy at scale. And Sawyer also had an experience with a drive-through himself. I believe this is using FSD himself. Tesla FSD just drove me through a McDonald's drive-through by itself. It pulled up, stopped at the ordering station, then continued and stopped at the pay and pickup window. Wild. The video cut off near the end because his iPhone storage filled up. Okay, that's okay. And then here, Omar says Tesla self-driving 14.1 has eyes on the back of its head. Well, actually, every single version of FSD had eyes on the back of its head. But in this case, it moved over for this motorcyclist before Omar even saw the motorcyclist coming. So that's a big deal. And I've experienced quite a few situations similar to sort of this one where FSD just sees something before I do. And, you know, oh, that was pretty good. And I sometimes, why are you, the car, doing this silly thing? And then a few moments later, I'm like, oh, that was very smart. This happened to me. It must be at least 100 times by now. Now, the Dirty Tesla account points out that, of course, it's not perfect, and this was a school zone test. FSD does lower its speed to the indicated speed when the light is blinking, ignores when the light is not blinking. Unfortunately, it then raises its speed back to the original speed limit. A few seconds later, we'll test a different school zone tomorrow. I would rather see this as a not that big of an issue. Tesla can definitely solve this. This is, you know, we're just doing final patches here at this moment with things like this. The most important thing is, if there is a kid running, will the car stop? If the answer is yes, okay, if you were speeding, but if no one gets hurt, okay, maybe it doesn't follow exactly the law as it should or as it's supposed to, but did anyone get hurt? No. If no one got hurt, I think it's okay. That is the most important thing. The most important objective of FSD is to get you safely from point A to point B. If your rules are broken, as long as no one got hurt, no one got offended or upset, well, maybe upset would be if I feel at this point if someone who has a very strong left-leaning politically, they might see Tesla FSD and they might get upset. So maybe I'll remove that part of my statement from earlier. But as long as no one gets hurt physically, I think it's okay as long as it doesn't create any emergency situations or unsafe situations where someone could almost have been hurt. And then it also reacts to gestures like the previous versions. My car yielded and was stopping for a dad holding his kid, waiting to cross the street, but he then waved me through and my car accelerated back up to speed slowly and while giving them space. So that's good. And here's another real-time video showing FSD advancement. FSD v14.1 reacts quickly to a person opening their door in the middle of the road. And guess what? There was no emergency situation. It was very controlled. It was very safe. It's exactly what a professional driver would have done. Oh, and by the way, Tesla has now removed the iconic auto steer icon in FSD v14. And then guess what we got here? Tesla Cybercab spotted at Giga Texas crash test facility. It's getting closer to being released. Joe Tagmeyer had a few things to say about this. The first Tesla Cybercab at Giga Texas crash testing facility. Hard to say for sure, but this may indicate the vehicle has completed most of the final engineering and production tests out at Fremont, and what remains is now at Giga Texas. If this follows how the Cybertruck proceeded, we are likely a month or two before we see initial test runs of what will be the production version. This matches up with all the equipment deliveries and installation inside the factory that we have been monitoring over the past few months. The Cybercab is going to be the most important vehicle that Tesla really will make, because this will have Tesla will make the most of these, or if not the most, then Tesla will make the most money from these Cybercabs eventually. And eventually, yeah, I would have a very hard time I can't really quite imagine that the Cybercab eventually will not be the most produced vehicle by Tesla. That's the only outcome that I really see. It will be the most popular vehicle. Well, maybe not the most popular because you may not be able to really quite buy it as a consumer. Maybe you will. Actually, you will probably be able to buy it as a consumer, but Tesla will produce more of these Cybercabs than any other vehicle, is my personal opinion eventually. Oh, and guess what this is? The Cybercat has also been spotted at the Fremont factory. Tesla doesn't have much time left before 2026. So they really are gearing up for the launch. Tesla spotted for the first time testing a Cybercab at their Fremont factory in California. So things are really moving. And Sawyer is, of course, not the only one excited. Many Tesla investors are excited too. And look at what Tesla is doing in Korea. Tesla just delivered 9,000 vehicles to customers in September alone. And this is the highest monthly sales actually so far. This is a new record broken in Korea by Tesla. That's pretty good. Currently, Tesla is the number 4 best-selling brand in South Korea. Of course, the Model Y is the second best-selling car at the moment. And this might change to number 1 if things continue like this. Then we got Dan Ives. He says Tesla will deliver about 600,000 cars per quarter. He says Tesla stock is going to $600 per share. That's his current 12-month price target. And Tesla has been on fire, really, if you look at the last 45-ish days or so. It's not just Dan Ives with a pretty, relatively speaking, higher price target. We have an increase in Tesla's price target from RBC Capital as well. They just raised their target to $500, up from $325 per share. So that's definitely a pretty decent increase. The reason RBC raised its target is mainly because they see huge upside from Tesla's AI businesses like FSD and Optimus. If they really see a big upside from these businesses, the price target should be substantially higher than $500 per share. This is not really quite acceptable if they really believe there's a lot of potential from these businesses. This should be like $700, $800, $1,000 per share, really. But they also speculate basically their targets are short-term based, just 12 months. Although in theory, and this is where I don't really respect most of these institutions or price targets or analysts, they supposedly create those price targets based on what they think the stock is going to do 5 years from now, or sometimes 10 years from now. And then they come up with a price target 5 years from now for, let's say today is 2025. Okay, so for 2030, and then from 2030, they're supposed to discount that price target back to today. And this is how supposedly they get the $500 in most cases. I'm not sure exactly if RBC follows this exact structure, but basically 90% of analysts, that's what they do. Unless some are so short-sighted that they only look at the next like 2 or 3 years. There are some analysts like that. If you really think that Tesla has really good upside with not just FSD, but also Optimus, I'm sorry. $500 per share? You must be kidding me. And then look at what just happened here. Time Magazine has named the Tesla Model S a top 25 invention of the past 25 years. And the reason why it's the Model S and not, for example, the Model Y is because the Model S really set everything up for the rest of Tesla's lineup. But really, I would say it's not the Tesla Model S that was the big invention, it was the Tesla Roadster. Although the Model S was sort of like a family mainstream vehicle, but with the Roadster, they proved that they could actually do what they are doing now. And back here, actually, if you follow Tesla very closely, you know that Elon Musk, for a brief period of time, they tried to partner up with Mercedes, and they put electric motors into the Smart Car, which is like a tiny 2-seater car. And the motors and the car was so fast that when you would accelerate, Elon said, the car would go like this. It's like a motorcycle. So it would go on 2 wheels. That's how powerful the motors were. And they did this whole presentation to Mercedes, and they were having a very hard time convincing them of anything until they displayed that. And then they like, oh, okay, this is amazing, actually. And that's how they got Mercedes there. So really, the putting the Tesla Model S here, I think it's a bit of it's great that they are doing this, but I think the Roadster should be in here. I would say if you're putting the Tesla Model S here, you should really put the Model 3 or the Model Y here instead, because the Model S, sure, it was electric and sure, it was a great vehicle. It was really nice, but it was way too expensive for most people. The Model 3, the Model Y, most Americans, if they really stretch, they can actually buy that vehicle, especially the Model 3, the cheaper version. But the Model S, for most, it's completely out of their reach, really. So let me actually see what they said. The car proved a game-changing advance for electric vehicles. We already did that with the Roadster. Expanding driving range and making them an exciting alternative to their gas-powered predecessors. Its success nudged competitors to make their own EVs more enticing, and Tesla capitalized on its head start, continuing to develop its tech and create new cars, including 2017's Model 3, which also made Time's list. Okay, so it did make Time's list, all right. But I'm just a bit, if you're gonna put the Model S in there on that list, why not put the Roadster? But yeah, I do see point of view that, okay, the Model S basically proved that we can scale this whole thing. But if you used your head a little bit, then you have seen the exact same thing with the Roadster already. I say put the Model 3 here instead of the Model S. Here's some really good news actually for Tesla. Tesla gets a green light to test FSD on Swedish highways. And if you remember the whole thing with Sweden before, and I was actually in Sweden just now, they don't like Tesla over there. They really don't like Tesla over there. For Tesla to get this green light from Sweden, this is big news. This just shows to all of us, look, if you got the thing that's actually working, even if they disagree, even if they despise you, Tesla will still push through it. It will still work, and Tesla will achieve all of its goals, and FSD will be deployed and scaled, and it's going to be the best technology. No doubt about it. And you know what's even more interesting is that not only did Tesla get this approval, but it's literally the first such authorization in Europe. This is quite funny. You would think the country that hates Tesla perhaps the most in all of Europe, that same country is then the first to give Tesla this authorization. We do live in an interesting world, don't we? Okay, and then Drive Tesla noticed that the Model Y standard in Europe comes with autopilot included, but in the US, AutoSteer is not included and vehicles only come with TAC, which is Traffic Aware Cruise Control. Story explains this is likely due to the fact that you can't use FSD supervised in many European countries yet, still pending regulatory approval. And then we Canadians are going to be happy with this. Tesla finally launches Grok in Canada. It's this particular version that we are going to get. And then this is actually pretty big news, so you want to pay attention to this one if you haven't seen this yet. A big thing for all of us Tesla stock investors. Elon Musk's xAI raised $20 billion in a new funding round led by Nvidia, split between $7.5 billion in equity and up to $12.5 billion in debt through a special purpose vehicle used to buy Nvidia chips that xAI will rent for 5 years. Nvidia invested about $2 billion in equity as part of its strategy to boost AI adoption. And Hans says, expect cash and or equity asset infusions by chip makers coupled with debt to fund build-outs for hyperscaler independent frontier labs like OpenAI and xAI as the new normal. Nvidia and AMD are both heavily incentivized to keep up competitive pressure for market share on each other and the hyperscalers who are trying to roll their own silicon. The AI infrastructure ecosystem wars are just getting started. There was also a big deal between AMD and OpenAI. If you haven't seen that one, I do suggest that you check it out. But basically the thing is, Nvidia, which is supposedly the future of AI, right? Nvidia, that company, is investing in xAI. They rather spend money on investing in xAI than doing something else with that money. I mean, Nvidia could choose to do anything it likes to do with that money, and yet they're choosing to invest in xAI. Really, they are choosing to invest in Elon Musk. And then there's this. Elon Musk replied to someone saying that AI is threatening humanity and that we are not doing enough to stop it. There was a more detailed comment here. Matt Walsh said, it's weird that we can all clearly see how AI is about to wipe out millions of jobs all at once, destroy every artistic field, make it impossible for us to discern reality from fiction, and destroy human civilization as we know it. And yet not one single thing is being done to stop. Elon has been warning for years about this whole thing. I don't think it's fair to say that there hasn't been a single thing to stop it. We aren't putting up any fight whatsoever. And if you remember, Elon, a while ago, he signed that letter asking to basically pause development of AI, and nothing happened basically there. Elon says, not sure what to do about it. I've been warning the world for ages. Best I can do now is try to make sure that at least one AI is truth-seeking and not a super woke nanny with an iron fist that wants to turn everyone into diverse women. And then I want to talk very briefly about the new Model Y standard. Elon agrees with AJ here, who pointed out that in March 2016, Elon unveiled the Tesla Model 3, promising an affordable vehicle starting at $35,000. When adjusted for inflation, the original target equates to approximately $47,500 in today's money. Yet Tesla has significantly over-delivered on this promise. The new standard Model 3 launched yesterday at a starting price of $36,990, unsubsidized. Comes in 22% below that inflation-adjusted figure. Put another way, in 2016 dollars, this latest Model 3 would only cost about $20,000. Somewhere says basically the same thing here as well. But I think the reason why people are so upset is not so much that. I think Elon is really just deflecting here a little bit. No one is really getting upset anymore that Tesla doesn't have the $35,000 vehicle. What people are getting upset about is that there's the actually more affordable model, like a smaller version that's competing with, let's say, the Toyota Corolla or a similar size vehicle. We don't have an EV like that from Tesla. Tesla is just basically giving up the whole market share to someone else. You guys already sort of know how to do EVs, all right? You just make a smaller one now, but we're just not gonna do that. I'm personally not a big fan of this strategy. I would rather Tesla do it as well. I think it lowers the risk of the whole company, but I do also understand why Elon Musk is doing it in some way. Elon does like to make bets. Okay, this is gonna work, or the whole company is gonna go bankrupt. He likes to make that sort of bet. And what Elon Musk is doing with FSD and the Optimus bot, he's betting the whole company on FSD and the Optimus bot. If Tesla solves full self-driving, it doesn't matter if Tesla is competing with the Toyota Corolla. It doesn't matter. We're gonna have the Cybercab, and Tesla is going to take the whole rideshare market, like the whole thing, not just a little piece of the whole thing. If Tesla really went after the mass market EV vehicle, I'm talking about like the smaller electric vehicles, and there's a bunch of those in China. If Tesla really went after that market, and if Tesla dominated every single price point and every single size of vehicle, then just like today's valuation, you could basically justify most of it, or at least a very large portion of it, just because Tesla in the future would sell so many vehicles. But then Elon's argument, to some extent, is, well, if you can just call a car that is going to take you anywhere, why would you even want to own your own vehicle? And to me personally, I think I will still own a vehicle. And I think that's going to be true of many people as well. One simple thing is, one thing that I actually hate about Uber is every time I get out of an Uber, I'm thinking, is this going to be the time that I forget my wallet in there? I think I got everything. I got my phone, I got my wallet, I got my keys, I got everything. But you do this 500 times, and you're going to have one time where likely you are going to forget something in the car, and you're going to be like, if I had my own car, this would have never happened. And then we got some important news here about V14. This is from October 7th, so from 3 days ago. Many more Tesla self-driving V14 improvements still to come, but wide rollout of V14.1 has begun. 14.2 rolls out in a few weeks, which is usually code for maybe a month or two. Although a few times Elon has actually stuck with his timeline, so we'll see about that. And then 14.3 a few weeks later, depending on safety testing. So probably by the end of the year is what I'm thinking, is we will have both of these versions in the wild, probably in my own vehicle too. There's so much change that we are carefully confirming each one, which of course is the right strategy to follow. And there are quite a few improvements and changes, so that's good to see. And then Ashok from Tesla, the guy that's in charge of FSD development basically, he does say that many follow-up releases with significant improvements are in the works. These should ship through the rest of this year. See exactly what I said? I trust timelines from other team members from Tesla a lot more than I do trust the timelines of Elon Musk. And it was exactly what I just said. I expect these new versions sometime before the end of the year. And Ashok is saying basically the same thing. Okay, now back to the Model Y and Model 3 releases, the cheaper ones. Tesla has introduced new lower priced vehicles at 13 and 11% discounts on the premium Model 3s and Model Y trims respectively. Given that this is just a new trim and does not offer news, our conviction is higher. This will not lead to incremental volume growth, but instead cannibalize the higher price trims. Then he followed up with, from a consumer standpoint, these will not be viewed as new, more affordable models. They will be viewed as cheaper trims within the same Tesla model lines. I do agree with Gary in this case, unfortunately. Jeff replied with saying they do this literally every other year. Every new major model launches a standard version a few months later. I'm not sure why anyone is making such a big deal one way or another about it. Every extension launched from a model base has some amount of cannibalization, so I'm not sure that this is news either. Well, the thing was, many people were expecting an actually more affordable, like, when I say more affordable, I mean a vehicle that would be like $30,000. That's what many people were expecting, or some people were expecting that. And then Gary replied to this exactly right, Jeff. This is not a new, more affordable model as build. This is a cheaper trim within the same model line. And then it gets a bit more heated. James the Cat has a few things to say. The price of the new Model 3 and Y isn't low enough to drive any incrementality. A better 3 and Model Y was available a week ago at a lower price with the RA discount. Then James continues, it seems like Tesla is only doing this because they need to justify why they guided for cheaper models for over a year straight to stop people from freaking out over declining volume sales. Elon is all about FSD and bot now. Probably figured no one would care by now given the progress FSD is making. Maybe he's right. In the long term, really, it makes not that much of a difference. As long as full self-driving is solved, in the sense that it's going to be safer than human driving in every single city in the US and Canada, and you can basically do it without any supervision. As long as that's done, then it doesn't really matter if Tesla releases a much cheaper vehicle or not. But based on like how Tesla was speaking about these new affordable models for for quite a while, yeah, this is, at this point, I think this comment from James makes sense. The car business is nothing more than a cash cow to buy time for FSD and Robotaxi to deliver. And actually earlier, Tesla's plant manager in Berlin said that the new stripped down Model Y will be about 10% less expensive. But we also got to remember that Elon never actually even wanted to make the Model Y in the first place at all. I think we can probably all agree that it's a good thing that the Model Y is here. So I would like Tesla to actually do to make a cheaper model, but in the long term, as long as Tesla solves full self-driving, which clearly they are on the path to solving and making it better than human driving in every single place in the United States of America and Canada, it doesn't really matter. And then remember, if you'd like to show support and if you would like to vote yes, Matt, please continue posting on YouTube. Please go ahead and click on like here and then repost on X. There's a link down below to this exact post. If this post gets 200 reposts and likes, or if this account of mine reaches 2,000 followers, I will certainly continue because you guys want me to, and I don't know how to have more fun than making these videos. And if you guys have my back, then I would certainly like to continue. But if people don't really care, then it's not really as much fun to keep going. Also, if you did miss me, feel free to leave comments. I will read comments of this video. Most of the comments I will try to read on this video, and I will read every single comment under this post. So if you'd like to definitely have me see your post, make sure to go to this post and then leave a comment under here. This will also help the post reach a wider audience, and this will ensure that this post is more successful. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Matt Postius, and I believe personally that Tesla stock is going to actually quite a bit more than $1,000 per share. And if that post reaches the milestones that I mentioned, then I will share my new price target. Thank you so much, and I will see you hopefully in the next video.